Welcome to kindergarten. In this introductory kindergarten math workshop, we will focus on the big ideas of math to explore and expose our kindergarten mathematicians to, as well as the top three math tools, the manipulatives, representations, that our kids will benefit from experiencing, which will provide a strong foundation for them as mathematicians for years and years to come. Whether you are an educator new to teaching kindergarten, or a homeschool parent teaching your young mathematicians, or an experienced kindergarten teacher, my hope is that this introductory welcome to kindergarten math workshop will provide support and guidance for you as you teach your young mathematicians. Let me introduce myself if we haven't met. I'm Megan Brewer. I have over 30 years experience in education, ranging from elementary classroom teacher to Title I mathematics coach at a Title I elementary school to a mathematics curriculum specialist for a large school district to an educational consultant providing professional development across the country, to an instructional coach for educators in various settings, and a curriculum designer and editor. My belief that everyone can be a math person stems from my own journey. Initially, not identifying as mathematically inclined, I discovered my passion for math through progressive opportunities in teaching, leadership, and advanced education. My consulting work has taken me to schools nationwide, from public institutions in urban and rural communities to charter and religious schools. My academic credentials include 2 master's degrees, with my most recent master's degree in mathematics education from the University of Virginia, reflecting my commitment to deep subject knowledge and pedagogical expertise. I now call North Carolina home. I attended Elon University for undergraduate studies, majoring in psychology and minoring in special education. After the past year volunteering in kindergarten and second grade math classes at local elementary schools, while I was working a remote position for an education and publishing company, I reconnected with my foundational passion, helping students develop confidence and capabilities as mathematicians while genuinely enjoying the learning process. Not to mention, we had a lot of fun. So, additionally, after traveling the country for over 14 years as a consultant, I am thrilled to have the opportunity to serve my community. This experience inspired the creation of the Math Workshop. The Math Workshop embodies my mission to provide resources and support that help families, teachers, and students, both locally and globally, to recognize their mathematical potential and develop a lasting appreciation for the subject. These are the 5 domain areas for mathematics for kindergarten. We've got counting and cardinality, operations and algebraic thinking, number and operations in base 10, measurement and data, and geometry. Let's begin to dive deeper into counting and the cardinality domain. Here are some of the big ideas of kindergarten math. Students use numbers, including written numerals, to represent quantities and to solve quantitative problems, such as counting objects in a set, counting out a given number of objects, comparing sets or numerals, and modeling simple joining and separating situations with objects, or eventually with equations, such as 5 plus 2 equals 7 and 7 take away 2 equals 5. Kindergarten students should see addition and subtraction equations, and student writing of equations in kindergarten is encouraged, but not necessarily required. Students choose, combine, and apply effective strategies for answering quantitative questions. including quickly recognizing the cardinalities of small sets of objects, counting and producing sets of given sizes, counting the number of objects in combined sets, or counting the number of objects that remain in a set after some are taken away. In kindergarten, cardinality is the understanding that the last number you say when counting represents the total quantity of objects in a group. Here are just some of the details of what kindergartners should be able to do and understand in the area of counting and cardinality. Count to 100 by ones and by tens. Count forward beginning from a given number within the known sequence instead of having to begin at 1. Write numbers from 0 to 20. Represent a number of objects with a written numeral 0 to 20, with 0 representing a count of no objects. Understand the relationship between numbers and quantities. Connect counting to cardinality. When counting objects, say the number names in the standard order, pairing each object with one and only one number name, and each number name with one and only one object. Understand that the last number name said tells the number of objects counted. That's cardinality. The number of objects is the same regardless of their arrangement or order in which they were counted. Understand that each successive number name refers to a quantity that is one larger. You will find a free downloadable kindergarten comprehensive math checklist on our website to guide your instruction and planning. Now, let's examine the top 3 math tools for kindergarten that can provide a world of difference for our students' mathematical understanding of number and lay the foundation for future mathematical connections and concepts. Number paths. A number path is a visual representation of the counting system where numbers are arranged sequentially in a linear fashion, typically with each number represented by a distinct space or rectangle. It's a tool used in early math education to help children learn to count, understand number relationships, and grasp the concept of one-to-one correspondence. Visual representation. Number paths use a series of numbered squares, boxes, or rectangles arranged in a line, typically starting with 1. Each space represents a single number, making it easier for young children to visualize the counting sequence. Counting model. Number paths follow a counting model, where each rectangle represents a specific number and can be counted individually. This helps children understand that each number corresponds to a specific quantity. Building number relationships. Number paths help children see how numbers relate to each other in a sequence. For example, they can see that 8 comes directly after 7, making it easy to understand that 8 is one more than 7. Stepping stone to number lines. Number paths are often used as a stepping stone to number lines. They provide a more concrete way to learn about numbers before moving on to the more abstract representation of a number line, where numbers are represented as points on a line. Counters. Two-sided counters are valuable in kindergarten for developing a concrete understanding of math concepts. They aid in counting, sorting, and probability activities, while also fostering critical thinking and problem-solving skills. These manipulatives provide a hands-on approach to learn, allowing students to explore number relationships and visualize mathematical ideas. Here's a more detailed look at why they're beneficial. Concrete representation of numbers. Kindergartners can physically manipulate the counters to represent numbers, making the concept of quantity more tangible. They can use the counters to count, sort and group objects, building a foundation for more complex math concepts, visualizing number relationships. By using the counters, students can visually represent addition and subtraction problems, helping them understand the concepts of combining and taking away. They can also explore number bonds. For example, 5 is made up of 3 and 2. Using the counters, developing a deeper understanding of number relationships. Developing problem solving and critical thinking skills. Activities involving two-sided counters encourage children to explore different ways to solve problems, fostering creativity and critical thinking. They can use the counters to experiment with different arrangements and strategies, developing their problem-solving abilities. Supporting counting and sorting skills. Two-sided counters can be used for activities that focus on counting and sorting, reinforcing these fundamental skills. Students can practice one-to-one correspondence by matching each counter with an item or a number on a worksheet, strengthening their counting abilities. 10 frames. 10 frames offer numerous benefits for developing early number sense, particularly in early elementary education. They help children visualize numbers, understand place value, and learn about addition and subtraction in a concrete, hands-on way. Specifically, 10 frames aid in developing one-to-one correspondence, subitizing, and understanding number relationships within 10. Here's a more detailed look at the benefits. Visualizing numbers. 10 frames provide a visual representation of numbers, making it easier for children to grasp the concept of number value. They see how a number is composed of 5 on that top row and some more, or how it relates to the whole 10 in the 10 frame. Developing number sense. Using 10 frames helps children develop a strong understanding of numbers, including number recognition, representation, comparison, and ordering. They can learn to quickly recognize quantities without counting. That's subitizing. And understand the relationship between numbers and quantities. Learning addition and subtraction. 10 frames make it easy to visualize addition and subtraction problems. Children can physically manipulate counters on the frame to represent the problem and see the result. They can also explore the relationship between addition and subtraction, like seeing that 5 and 3 equal 8, and 8 take away 3 is 5. Understanding place value. 10 frames help children understand the concept of place value, particularly the relationship between ones and tens. When using multiple 10 frames, children can see how a group of 10 counters is equivalent to a single 10. Fostering confidence. By working with 10 frames, children gain confidence in their ability to work with numbers. They develop a visual and tactile understanding of numbers, which makes them feel more comfortable and capable in math. Building a strong foundation for future math skills. The skills developed through 10 frame activities, such as number sense, place value, and understanding of basic arithmetic operations, like addition and subtraction, provide a strong foundation for more advanced math concepts. In essence, 10 frames are a powerful tool for teaching young learners about numbers and mathematical concepts in a fun and engaging way. My hope is that you found this Welcome to Kindergarten math workshop helpful in supporting you and your kindergarten student or students. If you want more support, I invite you to join our kindergarten community for a year of support. When joining this private community with other kindergarten educators, you will gain access to a collection of math workshops, which take a deeper dive into really understanding the kindergarten checklist of standards and the math tools that you will want to provide for your children. Monthly throughout the year, you will receive engaging hands-on activities, lessons, games, and more to support the kindergarten checklist standards. You can find out more information on how to register to join our kindergarten math workshop community on our website. Thanks.